Hey guys, welcome back to the video. So on today's video, we're here to talk about Joshua Van versus Pantoja. So just watched the press conference and man, Joshua Van was talking that shit, man. It was really getting under um Pantoja's skin. And really, I feel jaded about this thing. I feel double weight about this thing because on one end, people feel like Joshua Van doesn't deserve to be champion. They feel like, oh, he basically got lucky that Pantoja got injured and yada, yada, yada. Which I have to disagree with that. I just have to disagree with that. The fact that he was fighting and he won so much that he even got the title shot. He was the undisputed deserver of the title shot. And the fact that he made the weight, he got in the cage and he was ready for a full-on brawl. And Pantoja just wasn't healthy, had nothing to do with Joshua Van. Has absolutely nothing to do with Joshua Van. And I feel like hating on Joshua Van or trying to put down Joshua Van for him not deserving to be in the position he's in is kind of retarded because he does deserve every piece of him being there. If he didn't deserve it, he wouldn't be there. And when it comes to Pantoja, Pantoja, of course, we got to see how good he is. Obviously, we know Pantoja is good. We know how talented he is and yada, yada, yada. I just don't think that Pantoja is the same anymore. Pantoja is like, what, 36 now? And he's old now. And you're talking about Joshua Van, who's not even 25. Joshua Van is not even 25 years old. Like, I want you to understand how crazy that is. He's not even 25. This guy is young. He's not only not in his physical peak just yet. If anything, he's just entering it really. But also the fact that Pantoja is just exiting his. The fact that you even got an injury is to show you that, man, like the body is wearing down now. And Pantoja's been fighting like for a really long time. Before even Van started fighting, like started doing even MMA, Pantoja was, I think he was already in the UFC at that time. It's crazy. So, like, the thing is, like, really, when we really talk about this fight, we all know that Pantoja's grappling is insane. Like, Pantoja's grappling, and I feel like when it comes to stuff like age, your grappling just doesn't really get bad. If anything, your grappling gets better. You get more mature within certain parts of your decision making and stuff. It's just the speed, especially in MMA. When we talk about the hand speed, the reaction to the punches, to seeing stuff, your body moving, it's just like, although Pantoja is at a high level, he's just not going to be able to deal with Joshua Van's striking. I was watching back. I was watching the Tatsuro Taira and Joshua Van's fight. Joshua Van's hands were insane. He was like sniper-like precision, hyper fast. It was crazy. His boxing was wild, and the jiu-jitsu was not bad. Tatsuro Taira has amazing jiu-jitsu, amazing grappling, really. And Joshua Van, he was there, gang. He was contending with Tatsuro Taira. Like he was defending the submissions. He even damn near put Tatsuro Taira in the submission. And I really believe that, ironically enough, we could actually see Joshua Van submit Pantoja. Sounds crazy, but we could really see something like that. If it doesn't end in a knockout, which it could probably be, it's probably most likely going to be a knockout. But one thing I do know, Pantoja is not healthy enough. And even if he was quote unquote healthy enough, he's just not in the physical prime to be able to do these things. One of the things you guys need to understand is that your skill level is highly linked, is like direct, like whatever your skill level is going to be directly proportional to your physical ability. You understand? I don't know if you guys watch other sports, but you know that as athletes get older, it's not that their IQ or their brain is not the same anymore. In fact, it's even better than before, but it's just the body can't keep up the same. You're not going to be able to compete with people 10 years younger than you. You're just not going to be, especially them being young, being at their primes and etc. It's just not going to be the same anymore. And for somebody like Pantoja, who's old and low-key full of mold at this stage, given what I just told you, he's just not going to be able to deal with Joshua Van and all of that. And when it comes to people shitting on Joshua Van's attitude, I feel like Joshua Van's attitude at this stage, he's kind of sick of playing the whole humble guy role and everything like that. And he did defend that belt fair and square, and he's going to defend it again. And probably again. I mean, Joshua Van, at least at the lightweight level, I mean, at the flyweight level, he's really at another level. He's really at another level, and he deserves all that he's getting. And I foresee he's probably going to get the finish in the next fight, because one of the reasons why these guys are getting finishes, especially while they're still very young in their career, especially if they can become champion relatively young, why they have such dominant decisions is because of something I just literally told you about. Because their skill, even if their skill level is not exactly the best all around, but because their physical attributes, such as the speed, such as the movement, and such as even just their reaction time, they can look amazing. I mean, I could think of somebody like Adesanya, who, on his way to the top before he became champion. When he became champion, he became a bit more safe with the way he was fighting just to maintain the belt. But it was still very high level in terms of technical and everything like that. Entertainment wise, not so much, but in terms of like athleticism wise, technical wise, MMA, skill set, arsenal wise, and a kick and a striking perspective, he was still very high level. And Adesanya, as we started to see now, he started losing fights, right? And people start to think that, oh, Adesanya is washed, Adesanya is stupid or something, or he's just not that good, which, I mean, kind of. But it's not because, like, oh, Adesanya doesn't know how to kickbox anymore. No, he probably knows how to kickbox even better than he did when he started out in the UFC. It's just physically, he's just not the same anymore. He's obviously, as you can see, middleweight now. If you look at middleweight 4, 5, 6 years ago, and you look at middleweight now, night and day different. The guys at middleweight now are fundamentally larger human beings. These are guys that would have been fighting at 205, honestly. They would have been smaller 205s, but still, they would have been at 205s. And it happens like that with every weight division because of the technology, because of the nutrition standards, because of new ways to cut weight and the different medicines and diuretics they could give you, and all this new age shit. They can just increase the likelihood of you being able to fight and be healthy at that weight. And not even just that, because of the increased popularity of MMA over time. MMA right now is more popular than it's ever been, and it's going to keep on growing. It's going to keep on growing, and that's obviously increasing the amount of people in the door, the amount of talent coming in the door, and therefore you start understanding that, look, like, I could fight, as an example, I could fight at 205. I could physically fight at 205. But the thing is that there's going to be a guy who's 20, 30 pounds bigger than me still fighting at 205. And as though I can be the most skilled person on earth, it's just not going to make any sense for me to stay here, especially if I know these guys are just going to, when we get inside the cage, they're going to have fucking 10, 15 pounds over me. So it's better that I move down. And then it causes a trickle of everybody moving down now, right? And Adesanya had to gain that weight because, especially with the Dricus fight that was upcoming and how he lost that Sean Strickland fight, really, Sean Strickland being athletic in his own right, in his own way, really, with his superhuman cardio. Apparently, Adesanya had injuries, but still. So going back to Joshua Van on why I think he's going to actually submit or KO Pantoja, it's simply because Pantoja is just not the champion anymore. I think this is like, we would have wished for a more respectful passing of the guard, but this is life, and life doesn't translate like that. And also, y'all were disrespecting Joshua Van anyways. And Joshua Van, man, he deserves to talk his shit, man. And trust me, he's going to beat Pantoja for all the reasons listed in this video. Because Joshua Van, although he's primarily a striker, mainly a boxer, He's jiu-jitsu is not bad at all. The guy's high level. I think he's already a black belt or at least a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and especially him being young like that, fast like that, agile like that. He's also really short, even by flyweight standards. That even makes the grappling, that kind of gives him an advantage. I mean, you look at somebody like DJ, who is also kind of short for the flyweight division. Also, it kind of helps you out, especially at these lighter weight classes. Because like you're just hard to submit, you're just hard to submit. And especially someone like Pantoja, who built his career on like being just a pressure, walk forward, marauder a bit, it's just not going to work with somebody who's as skilled as Joshua Van, who's as fast as him. And even if it does go to the ground, Pantoja will be so beat up from everything that happened, he's not going to be able to fully do anything, let alone do you guys think that Joshua Van doesn't know anything about grappling? I mean, duh, obviously he's going to defend the submission and he's probably going to be able to wriggle out of it. I mean, I think it's one of those things where, like, even when you're watching some of DDP's fights before the Khamzat fight, right? Even in certain portions in the Khamzat fight, where because of DDP's level of athleticism, he was able to make it out or wiggle and squirm his way out of these grappling exchanges, or even sometimes win these grappling exchanges simply because of how strong he was. And in a similar way, in a similar vein, because of the athleticism Joshua Van already possesses, even if he's fair enough, not that technical, which he is very technical, he's going to be more than able enough to contend with Pantoja. And I'm trying to say that, like, Pantoja, I think he's just, honestly, he's probably just trying to collect one more paycheck. You know, I don't think he has much more left in him, really. I think he made the paydays. He's rich. I think his family now lives in America and everything like that. But that's really it. Pantoja is really going to lose by submission, and I think especially with the flyweight division now going downwards with some of these newer, younger guys, as he and Pantoja getting older. If he fights somebody else who's young as well, if he fights another old guy, I don't know, maybe, you know, who chooses to strike with him or whatever, okay, maybe. But if he chooses like another young guy, I don't think it's the same thing. Or unless another young guy who just isn't that good, because Joshua Van is that good. That's the difference. Because some of the guys like Kaya Sakura, young guy, fair enough, fast, athletic, all those other things too, but he just isn't that good. He's just not the same as Joshua Van. And that's really my analysis. See you guys on the next one. Peace out. Bye.